Good morning, YouTubians. It's Comet's Ghost. You can call me Alan. It is Monday, the 18th of May 2026. It's a Blu-ray release day here in the UK. It's a little bit early. I will show you the time first. Yes, it is a little bit too early at the moment to go to HMV, so I'll grab a cup of tea first, get myself ready. Then I'll head up to the city. I'll film all the latest releases, grabbing a latte along the way, and then I'll bring you home, show you, I think I'm 9 titles I got planned for today, so let's go. So I'm about to pop into HMV and I'm going to start with films that were not in stock when I previously filmed, starting with Mona Lisa on 4K from Arrow. It's a British neo-noir film from 1986 about an ex-con takes a job as a driver and minder to a high-class schoolgirl, and he tries to help her locate her missing teenage friend. It stars Bob Hoskins, Kathy Tyson, Robbie Coltrane and Sir Michael Caine. God bless you, sir. This is priced at £24.99 and it comes with a booklet. Rounders next from 88 Films. This is a crime drama from 1998 directed by John Dahl. It's about a gambler who's in debt to a Russian mobster for 30 grand, which jeopardizes his relationship with his girlfriend. Later he helps his fresh out of prison childhood friend who also owes money. It stars Matt Damon, Edward Norton and John Malkovich, and it's priced at £19.99. Next on the Criterion label is The Big City from 1963. It's a Bengali drama about a woman who takes a bank job despite her husband's objections. Also on this release is a second short film called The Coward from 1965. Another Bengali drama which addresses modern female identities. This one is priced at £22.99. Gate of Flesh next from 88 Films. This is a Japanese crime drama from 1988 about a group of prostitutes living in a post-World War II Tokyo ghetto who pull their savings together and build a dance hall called Paradise, but their journey isn't easy. It stars Rino Katase, Yoko Naruto and Jin Pachinezu, and it's priced at £14.99. So on to this week's releases, and in no particular order, I'm going to start with The Bride from Warner Brothers. This is a gothic horror from this year that was written and directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal, telling the story of the Bride of Frankenstein, and it stars Christian Bale as Dr. Frankenstein's monster, Jessie Buckley as the bride, alongside Annette Bening, Penelope Cruz, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Peter Skarsgård. The Blu-ray is priced at £14.99. The 4K is priced at £24.99. There's also a 4K Steelbook, which is priced at £34.99. Aesthetics of a Bullet next from Radiance Films. This is a Japanese crime drama from 1973, directed by Seido Nakajima. This is about a small-time criminal becomes a hitman for the Yakuza. This one is limited to 3,000 copies and it's priced at £17.99. Next is Over the Garden Wall. This is an American animated miniseries from 2014. It's about 2 brothers who are lost in the forest and have to find their way home. This has the voice talents of Elijah Wood, Colin Dean, Tim Curry, Christopher Lloyd and John Cleese. This one is priced at £14.99. Jean La Pucelle from Radiance Films next. This is a French historical film from 1990 directed by Jacques Rivette. This is a gritty, more realistic 5.5-hour film which charts the rise of Joan of Arc from peasant girl to warrior to her execution. This one is priced at £29.99. X-Cross next from Treasured Films. This is a Japanese horror from 2007 directed by Kenta Fukasaku. This is about 2 women who travel to the countryside for a break but discover the occupants all belong to a sadistic cult who enjoy cutting off the legs of their captives. This one is priced at £18.99. Next is Godzilla Kong Monsterverse 5-film collection on 4K, and this contains Godzilla from 2014, Kong Skull Island from 2017, Godzilla King of the Monsters from 2019, Godzilla vs. Kong from 2021, and Godzilla X Kong The New Empire from 2024. This is priced at £79.99. Leaving Las Vegas next from Studio Canal. This is a melodrama from 1995, written and directed by Mike Figgis, about an alcoholic Hollywood screenwriter who moves to Las Vegas after losing his job and family in order to drink himself into an early grave. It stars Nicolas Cage, Elizabeth Shue, Julian Sands and Emily Proctor. The Blu-ray is priced at £14.99 and the 4K is priced at £24.99. Hi Mum on 4K next from Radiance Films. This is limited to 5,000 copies and it's a black and white comedy from 1970. This was written and directed by Brian De Palma about a Vietnam vet who returns to New York, wants to make adult movies, so he decides to film his attractive neighbour who is unaware that she's being filmed. This stars Robert De Niro and Jennifer Salt, and it's priced at £24.99. Fight Club on 4K next on Disney Buena Vista. This is a psychological crime thriller from 1999, directed by David Fincher. This follows an insomniac white-collar worker who creates an underground fight club alongside his soap salesman friend. This stars Edward Norton, Brad Pitt, Meatloaf, Helena Bonham Carter and Jared Leto. This one is priced at £24.99. My Beautiful Laundrette next on the Criterion label. This is a romantic comedy drama from 1985, directed by Stephen Frears, about the unlikely romance between a young Pakistani laundrette owner who has a relationship and eventual partnership with a right-wing man from his childhood. This stars Saeed Jeffrey and Daniel Day-Lewis, and it's priced at £22.99. Some Like It Hot next from Cape Light Pictures. This is a crime comedy from 1959 that was co-written and directed by Billy Wilder, about two jazz musicians who go on the run from a mob boss after they witness his men mass killing a rival gang. The two go into hiding in an all-female travelling band en route to Miami. This stars Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon, Marilyn Monroe, George Raft and of course Joe E. Brown with the best end quote to any movie. The Blu-ray is priced at £16.99 and the 4K media book is priced at £34.99. The special edition of Witness next from Arrow. This is a neo-noir crime thriller from 1985, directed by Peter Weir. When a young Amish boy witnesses a murder, a detective goes undercover in the Amish community to protect him and his mother. This stars Harrison Ford, Kelly McGillis, Danny Glover and Viggo Mortensen. The Blu-ray is priced at £17.99 and the 4K is priced at £24.99. Hell or High Water next on 4K from Studio Canal. This is a neo-western crime drama from 2016, directed by David Mackenzie and written by Taylor Sheridan. It's about brothers who plan a bunch of bank heists, but the only thing standing in their way is a Texas Ranger on the brink of retirement. This stars Ben Foster, Chris Pine and Jeff Bridges. This one is priced at £22.99. Clint Eastwood, The Dollars Trilogy on 4K next from Arrow. This has the iconic spaghetti westerns that catapulted Clint Eastwood into stardom, and they are A Fistful of Dollars from 1964, For a Few Dollars More from 1965, and The Good, the Bad and the Ugly from 1966. But it also contains an 86-minute documentary from 2017 called Sad Hill Unearthed. This one is priced at £59.99. Well, I already have Some Like It Hot, The Dollars Trilogy, Witness, Hell or High Water, Leaving Las Vegas, Fight Club, and Godzilla films in my collection, so just the bride for me this week. Put down in the comments if you plan to get anything from this week's releases. Hey everybody, welcome back. Lots to talk about today. 9 movies. We've got 2 films here, a box set with 5 westerns in, and another 2 films the other side. So let's crack on with it. Okay, let's start off with Mandy. Now, I've had this in my collection since its release, and this was a first time watch for me, so I have no excuses really. This is a revenge horror from 2018, and it stars the infamous Nick Cage. And I just actually want to point out this is 8 years old, this film, and Nick has made 31 films since then, so hats off to him. So this is set in 1983. Nick is playing Red Miller. He's a lumberjack in the Pacific Northwest. He's a recovering alcoholic and an ex-soldier who fought in Vietnam. His living girlfriend is Mandy, a very gentle soul. She's a writer and an artist, and the pair live what seems to be a peaceful existence in a secluded cabin near the woods. Mandy, who's played by Andrea Riseborough, is walking to work one morning as she catches the eye of Jeremiah, who is being played by Linus Roach. And Jeremiah is head of a cult known as the Children of the New Dawn, whose members include a cannibalistic gimp biker gang called the Black Skulls. And Jeremiah takes a shine to Mandy immediately, so much so actually he has her kidnapped, drugged with LSD, and he tries to claim her for himself. Anyway, his whole plan goes tits up. She's set alight and she dies a horrible death, and it then becomes a revenge film, which is the bones of the movie. Now Red, he comes off the wagon big time, and he tools up and he goes full Nick Cage. Well, you can guess the rest. Very psychedelic film, complete with animated sequences as well. And it's got a very punchy soundtrack. It's provided by Johan Johansson, who sadly passed away just months before this film was released. It also stars Bill Duke as Red's friend Carruthers. Bill, you'll know as Sergeant Mac from The Predator in 1987. Bill is 83 years old now, bless his cotton socks. It's got a runtime of 2 hours, 2 minutes. Let's take a look inside. The front cover image has been put onto the disc. So that was Mandy. Okay, next one to show you is Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. This is a biographical drama that was co-produced and directed by Scott Cooper, who also wrote the screenplay, by the way, so hats off to him. Film opens up in 1957 with a young Bruce Springsteen growing up in a household where his father would physically abuse his mother, even to the point when young Bruce would defend his mum with a baseball bat. So we've got Stephen Graham playing his father Douglas, and we've also got Gabby Hoffman playing his mother Adele. Then we cut to 1981, where Bruce and the E Street Band, they're just finishing their third Select tour, which was called the River Tour. Bruce, by the way, in this is being played by Jeremy Allen White, who starred in The Iron Claw, which I talked about in video number 236. It's at this point in the film he meets a young woman called Faye, played by Odessa Young, and they start a relationship. I should also point out that Bruce is trying to find ways of cutting costs as the studio prices are bleeding him dry. So he gets his friend to convert his bedroom into a recording studio, and they start recording 4-track songs which are heavily influenced by his upbringing, and they're more gritty and they reflect the blue-collar worker and the struggles that they face. His friend is Matt, being played by Paul Walter Hauser, who you'll know from the film Richard Jewell. He played the title character. Brilliant film. So in this makeshift studio they record the album Nebraska. Do you know, that's all I'm going to say story-wise. I enjoyed this film. Doesn't try to cram too much into the story. In fact, they concentrate on a very small window of Bruce's career, and the performances in this are incredible. And the recording of Born in the USA, brilliant. What a song that is. It's got a runtime of exactly 2 hours. Let's take a look inside. The slipcover and the cover have the same image, and there is a plain blue disc. So that was Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Okay, so Imprint Films very kindly sent me over Tales of the Wild West Collection 2. And there are 5 westerns in here, ranging from 1968, year I was born, to 1975. And it features some excellent actors, the likes of Dean Martin, Roddy McDowall, Charlton Heston, Donald Pleasance, Brian Keith, Honor Blackman, Ernest Borgnine, Woody Strode, Slim Pickens, William Holden, Bruce Dern, Lee Majors and Kirk Douglas. So some top names throughout. And I'm going to show the box set first, and then I'll move onto the films afterwards. Okay, so here we go with the box set. We have the title up the top there with images taken from all the films. On the side there we have the title of the movies included. On the other side we have an image taken from the Revengers. On the back we have this card that you just peel off. It's held on with a spot of glue. It has all the extras listed, and I'll put that up in the corner so you can have a read, and then when you finish just pop it inside for safekeeping. Also have an image on the back there. On the top we have the title of the box set, and underneath we have some tech specs. So removing the lid that is unique to Imprint Films with that design, inside we have 5 individual cases, 1 case per film. Lovely, that's what I like. And inside we have a double thickness case, very sturdy indeed, and the inside matches that colour on the base. Okay, first one out of this set is 5-Card Stud, a western whodunit from 1968 directed by Henry Hathaway. He directed Nirvana Smith, which I showed just a few weeks ago, but he also directed How the West Was Won and Sons of Katie Elder. So this is set in 1880 in a small upcoming town called Rincon, which is near Santa Fe. And it starts out with a card cheat being hung by Nick Evers, who's being played by Roddy McDowall. Now, his films include The Greatest Story Ever Told, Poseidon, and of course Planet of the Apes, where he played Cornelius. Now, the hanging doesn't sit well with a character called Morgan, played by Dean Martin, and he quickly leaves town. But he comes back when the hanging parties start getting picked off one by one. Morgan tries to get to the bottom of the mystery. Meanwhile, a new preacher arrives in town, and he quickly makes a mark for himself by entering the saloon and firing his gun into the floor, announcing that the church is open for business the following Sunday. The preacher is Jonathan Rudd, being played by Robert Mitchum, who happens to be the brother of the man that was hung at the start of the film. Is it a coincidence? Well, you have to watch it and find out for yourself. This also stars Inga Stevens as Lily Langford. She is Morgan's love interest. Inga sadly took her life via an overdose when she was just 35 years old. Plus it also stars Denver Pyle, who you'll remember from the life and times of Grizzly Adams. He played Mad Jack. Oh, he's also in Dukes of Hazzard as well as Uncle Jesse. Picture quality on this, excellent, couldn't fault it at all, and the story and the acting were on point. Great start to the box set. It's got a runtime of 1 hour 43 minutes. Let's take a look inside. The front cover image has been put onto the disc, and on the reverse of the cover is a screenshot from the film. So that was Five Card Stud. Next one to show you is Will Penny. It's from 1968 and it's written and directed by Tom Grise, and this film's got a great cast. Opens up with hired cattle drivers coming to the end of their contract, and after the job ends, three head off to warmer weathers, and they are Will Penny, who's being played by none other than Charlton Heston, Blue, played by Lee Majors in his first credited acting role, plus there's Dutchie as well, played by Anthony Zerbe. Now his films include Rooster Coburn, They Call Me Mr. Tibbs and Cool Hand Luke. Anyway, on their first day, they run into a preacher and his sons. They get into a gunfight over an animal carcass and Dutchie gets shot, although he does actually manage to shoot himself. But Will happens to shoot one of the preacher's sons, and then the preacher vows revenge. The preacher is being played by Donald Pleasance. Now, Donald's films include Dr. Crippen, The Great Escape, and Fantastic Voyage, plus many, many more. He is a great actor. They then take Dutchie to the next town over, and Will moves on to try and find some work, with the preacher and his two psychotic sons following on in hot pursuit. Now, the eldest son is Rafe, being played by Bruce Dern, who is 89 years old, still acting, bless his cotton socks. Bruce was also in Waterhole No. 3, which I showed just a few weeks ago. I won't say any more story-wise, but I will mention this also stars Slim Pickens as a trail cook, great character, plus there's Joan Hackett as Catherine. Now, she has a son in the film, played by the director's son, John. Catherine becomes Will's love interest. I thoroughly enjoyed this film. It's the type of Western I actually grew up watching as a kid. Picture quality, sharp as a tack. It's got a runtime of 1 hour 50 minutes. Let's take a look inside. The front cover image has been put onto the disc, and on the reverse of the cover there's a screenshot from the film. So that was Will Penny. Next one is going to be complicated to explain. It is Something Big. It's a comedy western from 1971 that's directed by Andrew V. McLaglen. His films include Rare Breed, Hell Fighters, Wild Geese and North Sea Hijack, so he's a very good director. This stars Dean Martin as Joe Baker. He's engaged to a Scottish woman called Dover McBride, who's being played by Carol White. Sadly, she was a child star, but she died aged 48 from substance abuse. Anyway, rumour has it that Joe, he is a past his prime bandit, he's got something big planned, but nobody knows what it is. And before he can set his big plan in motion, he receives a letter from his fiancée informing him that she's on her way by stagecoach and she plans to make an honest man of him. So he has to get on and complete his plan before she arrives. Meanwhile, Colonel Morgan, who's being played by Brian Keefe, he is set to retire, and he hears that Joe's planning something big, but he doesn't know any of the details either. Turns out that his wife, Mary Ann Morgan, is also going to arrive by stagecoach because she is going to escort him home. Mary being played by Honor Blackman. So we discover that Joe's plan involves a Gatling gun, and he must trade a woman for this gun, and the man who owns a Gatling gun is Johnny Cobb, being played by Albert Salmi. Now he wants a refined woman, and Joe happens to choose the Colonel's wife, Mary. Now I won't say any more story-wise. I will mention though, it also stars Denver Pyle. He starred in Five Card Stud, which I just talked about, and it also stars Paul Fix, Bob Steele, Harry Carey Jr. and Ben Johnson, all of which are no strangers to the Western movie. Ben was actually a world champion rodeo rider. Picture quality on this was excellent overall, and it's got a runtime of 1 hour 48 minutes. Let's take a look inside. The front cover image has been put onto the disc, and on the reverse of the cover there's a screenshot from the film. So that was Something Big. The next one to show you is The Revengers. This is a revenge western from 1972 and it's directed by Daniel Mann. This is a ranch owner and a former Civil War hero by the name of John Benedict, who's being played by William Holden, seeking revenge for the murder of his wife, his two sons, his two daughters and his loyal ranch hand by a tribe of Native American Comanche. Williams' films include Sunset Boulevard, Stalag 17, Bridge on the River Kwai, Devil's Brigade, Network, Terra Inferno and many, many more. So before John sets out for revenge, his ranch hand tells him that the Comanche were led by a white man called Tarp, who's being played by Warren Vanders. So John heads off to a Mexican prison where he puts together a posse, and he gets them out by paying a very greedy Mexican commandant and telling them that they are going to be working in his mine. So he hires 6 men. You've got William Hoop being played by the brilliant Ernest Borgnine. This was made the same year that he made the Poseidon Adventure, where he played the character of Mike Rogo. Ernest and William have actually worked together on the violent western The Wild Bunch, which was made 3 years earlier. So there's also Job, who's being played by Woody Strode, who starred in the Western Professionals, which I showed you just a few weeks ago. You may actually remember that I mentioned that Woody from Toy Story was named after him.
Looks like we got an unwanted visitor in town.
Plus there are 4 others which I won't name because I'll be here all night. So John and his posse, after a rocky start, they set off to kill the man who took everything from him. Excellent movie. Also stars Susan Hayward in her last film role. Sadly, she passed away just 3 years later, aged just 57 years old. Picture quality on this was remarkable, as if it was made yesterday. It's got a runtime of 1 hour 48 minutes. Let's take a look inside. The front cover image has been put onto the disc, and on the reverse of the cover there is a screenshot from the film. So that was The Revengers. The last film in this box set is a western from 1975, and it's titled Posse. It was co-produced, directed by and starring Kirk Douglas as a politically ambitious US Marshal from Texas called Howard Nightingale. And in this, Howard hopes to become a US Senator, and to do this he plans to bring to justice a notorious train robber called Jack Strawhorn, who's played by Bruce Dern. Bruce was in Waterhole No. 3 from Tales of the Wild West Collection No. 1, and he was also in Will Penny, which was the second movie in this box set. Anyway, Howard has a hand-picked posse to achieve his goal, and everything starts out really well. They manage to kill Jack's men and burn all his money, with the help of a double-crossing member of Jack's gang, who Jack later tracks down and kills in a bar alongside a local sheriff. And then Howard and his posse arrive by train. They chase Jack and his new incompetent crew up into the hills, where they manage to arrest him and bring him back into town in irons. So naturally Howard is very pleased with himself, and they throw a big party for him. But the very next day Jack manages to escape and takes Howard hostage. Rubs salt in the wounds as well. Jack demands $40,000 in ransom money, which was the sum of the money that Howard and his men destroyed by killing his crew. I won't say any more story-wise, but I will mention also stars Bo Hopkins as one of Howard's posse called Wesley. Now, Bo's films include The Wild Bunch. He was also in American Graffiti and Midnight Express. Very good western, this one. Very good cast and a solid storyline. Picture quality as well was top-notch. It's got a runtime of 1 hour 33 minutes. Let's take a look inside. So that fantastic cover art has been put onto the disc, and on the reverse of the cover there's a screenshot from the film. So that was Posse. So that was Tales of the Wild West Collection 2. Next one to show you is Don't Breathe, a thriller from 2016. This is 10 years old and I've just watched it. Don't judge me. I'm showing this because I recently picked up the sequel. Now, this was co-written and directed by Fede Alvarez. His films include Girl in the Spider's Web and Alien Romulus. He actually wrote the sequel to this as well, but he didn't direct it. It's about three burglars: Rocky, played by Jane Levy, her on-screen boyfriend Money, played by Daniel Zavato, and there's also Alex, being played by Dylan Minetti. Now, these three scumbags, they break into people's houses, they nick the valuables, and then they sell them on. They're in it for the monetary value alone. Rocky's doing this to escape her home life with a younger sister, and this is because her mother is abusive and her mother's boyfriend is a drunk. Anyway, they rob several houses, they're making next to nothing, so their fence, who is taking the biggest cut, he tells them, if you want to make money, steal money. Just steal cash. It's pure profit. The next victim is a Gulf War vet who is sitting on £300,000 of dollars in cash. Plus he's blind as well, so easy money, or so they think. I'd just say they take on a little bit more than they bargained for, and I won't say any more story-wise, but I will mention the blind man is Norman, being played by Stephen Lang, whose films include Avatar and its sequels, Girl on a Train, Detox, Tombstone, and many, many more. Great actor. Loved this film. No weak links, cast and the story. They kept the tension going from the outset. Lots of twists and turns. Recommend it. It's got a runtime of 1 hour 29 minutes. Let's take a look inside. The slipcover and the cover had the same image, and the image from the back cover has been put onto the disc. So that was Don't Breathe, and spoiler, the sequel wasn't as good. Next and last is Song Sung Blue. This is a biographical drama from last year that was written and directed by Craig Brewer. Now, his films include Black Snake Moan, Hustle and Flow, and the Footloose remake. So this stars Hugh Jackman as Mike Sardinia, aka Lightning. He is hired to fill in for a Don Ho impersonator at a state fair in Wisconsin, but the issue is he wants to sing his own songs, which the organizer tells him can't do. So he quits before he gets started, and it's here that he meets a Patsy Cline impersonator called Claire. She's a single mother, played by Kate Hudson. She suggests that he tries his hand at impersonating Neil Diamond, and this, by the way, is set in the late 1980s. Two get along really well. They start practicing Neil's songs together, and soon enough they become romantically involved. Now, Mike suggests that they team up and call themselves the Lightning and Thunder Act, and sure enough they become a Neil Diamond tribute act, even opening for Pearl Jam. Now, this was a great film. As with most biopics, it beggars belief what people get up to in their lives. There's heart attacks, amputations, sectioning in a mental health hospital, unwanted pregnancy. This film has it all and more. Both Kate Hudson and Hugh Jackman, they sung all the songs, and let's face it, who doesn't like a Neil Diamond song? Also stars Jim Belushi as Lightning and Thunder's manager, plus there's also Ella Anderson as Claire's daughter. Ella you'll know from Young Sheldon, where she played the character of Erica. Picture quality on this, well, you can imagine it's a film that's only a year old. Fresh as a daisy. It's got a runtime of 2 hours, 12 minutes. Let's take a look inside. Inside we have a white disc with the title on it. So that was Song Sung Blue. So a big thank you to Imprint Films. There will be a link, as I said, down below in the description to that box set which I showed should you want to purchase it for yourself. So that was it. Have you seen any of those? Do you plan to pick them up or just want to leave a comment? Then do so down below. I will read every single one and I'll try to reply if I have the time. Give the video a thumbs up, really does help the channel. And subscribe if you haven't. It's all free. Why wouldn't you? On that note, all I said to say is thank you so much for choosing my channel today and watching my video. Take care. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.